Hey guys, Skylar, Mike.
Citizens Action Network.
So, Saturday night, I was driving through the city of Wheatland here in California, and I got pulled over. The cops said that I was speeding, which I never admitted. I didn't use any words of admittance of guilt or anything like that. I just said I didn't even respond to it. I didn't say anything because I wasn't speeding. I accelerated, reached the speed limit, and then cruised at 35 miles an hour down the street. The cop followed me for a little while and then turned his lights on. So he said and claimed that I was speeding up until he pulled me over. So it wasn't true. But anyways, he started asking me questions for identification, what my name is. I didn't give it to him. I said I just gave him my first name, and he asked for my ID. I said, you can properly identify yourself to me first, and then I'll give you ID. So I handed him a public servant questionnaire and said, by law, you need to fill this out and properly identify yourself. So he refused to do it, kept asking me for more information. I kept asking him, please fill out the public servant questionnaire. He wouldn't do it. He asked me if I had a firearm or any weapons like that. I said yes. He asked me what kind. I said it's a pistol. He asked me if I can lawfully own that pistol, and I said of course. The Second Amendment says I have the right to keep and bear arms. And he asked me if it was loaded. I said yes. And then as he was asking me questions, two other officers came around the vehicle or around my car, and they're all looking at me with their flashlights, shining in my face and stuff. And then he asked the one officer that was questioning me, asked the rest of them to come around the other side. They asked me to get out of the car, and I said, why? What have I done? Where's the crime? Where's the victim of any crimes that I've committed? And I told him I have my rights, and they wouldn't listen to me. And they opened my door, and the one officer grabbed my arm. He didn't squeeze it hard or anything. He wasn't being rough, but he lightly grabbed my arm to kind of come out of the car. And so I said, hold on, just let me get my papers and stuff out here. Can I grab my wallet, which was sitting in the little pouch, the little compartment in the door? And he said no. And I said, can I please grab my wallet? I have something important to show you, because I have a little piece of paper that I have some laws written down on for the purpose of giving to an officer when I get pulled over. So I grabbed my wallet because it was right there. So I grabbed it and I started pulling it out, and he said face the vehicle and all that stuff. And I said, I don't consent to being searched. I don't consent to any of this. This is all crimes against me, my rights. And didn't care, wouldn't listen. Patted me down as I was pulling the paper out of my wallet, and then grabbed my arm and placed me in cuffs, and then said, based on the probable cause that you've been committing crimes, we have the lawful authority to detain you while we search the vehicle. And so they put me in the back of the squad car, and then they searched my vehicle, and they found my pistol in the glove box, and then searched the whole rest of my car. And I told them that I didn't consent to it, that it was a violation of my Fourth Amendment, that they needed a warrant to do that search, and they wouldn't listen. And they said that they were operating within the laws of California and the city of Wheatland. So after about 40 minutes sitting in the car, it was quite uncomfortable. My shoulders were hurting real bad because I just did some shoulder training at the gym the day before, so I was pretty sore, and that was uncomfortable. And I told them the whole time, they'd come back and forth, asking me questions, what I'm doing in California, all that kind of BS to get me to calm down. I kept telling them, look, you're violating my rights, I have the right to do this, I have the right to do that. They wouldn't listen. But eventually, when they issued my citation, they said, we're just gonna let you go tonight. We're not gonna arrest you. Maybe they got the idea that because I know my rights and I was quoting stuff for that last half hour sitting in the car, they probably figured that it would be less trouble if they just let me go and let me deal with it in court. And so they, instead of arresting me right there, which they could have, they issued me a citation here, and for 4 citations: transportation of loaded firearm, expired license, expired registration, unsafe speed on highway. And so they got me, they initiated me into a contract. This is a ransom note to appear before a court, and I signed it, all rights reserved. I asked them what happens if I refuse to sign it. They said I'm gonna go to jail right then and there, and I can sit in jail until a magistrate comes to seize me. And I had most of this was all on video on my phone. It's not very good because they set it on top of the car, so you can't really hear me saying much. But so I said, well, okay, I'll sign it, but what about the report? When can I obtain a copy of it? Because I need all your officers' names. Are you going to write them on the ticket? They said no. I asked, can you put the names on the citation so that I can have access to that information to build my case, because I'm self-representing, pro per. They said no, I can get it off the police report on the day of my my court date. So all this stuff is all violations, it's all fraud. And Mike's helping me. He's representing me as friend, and he's working with me, teaching me all about this fraud stuff and how to get out of this contract stuff.
Well, what we're doing is we went down, see, this happened to him on Saturday, so Monday morning we went down to the Yuba County Courthouse to sign him up for his court date, so we could ask the officers and the sheriff be present at the court, so we could disqualify the judge, prove the officers are committing fraud and prosecuting victimless crimes, which is legalized extortion under color of law. It's not lawful, it's legal. When we went to the Yuba County Court, this is the first person we were directed to, Stefan Konichi. He's the court executive officer, and the first things we asked him were oaths of office, if he had one and if he would provide one. He said, yeah, I have an oath to the Constitution and I don't care. So after we talked to him and reasoned with him, he directed us to the county clerk recorder, who we got some oaths from, and then she directed us back to Mr. Konishi, who, when we returned, was very friendly and had his oath waiting for us. After that, we contacted Stefan L. Dufour, the Yuba County Sheriff, and advised him of constitutional violations taking place in his county and the court. When we pulled the judges, there's 5 judges for the Superior Court of Yuba County. Yuba County Courthouse is not affiliated with Yuba County. It's a corporate entity unrelated to the county of Yuba. We found that there's quote-unquote judges overseeing the family courts that are not even judges, they're not even attorneys, they're just people hired to prosecute people and take away your family rights. So we also found another judge who's holding office, and we have a notarized oath of office that was signed by the clerk recorder and certified correctly, but never signed by the judge. So that's more fraud. The last person that we went to see today at the request of the sheriff to keep in their protocols was the City of Wheatland Chief of Police, Alan Whiteman. I asked him for his oath of office. He refused flat out. I asked him if he would identify the 3 officers who detained Skylar without cause the other night. He refused to provide any of that information, and that's deprivation of rights under color of law. And he has no authority to do that. And what he said is that the City of Wheatland is incorporated, and that they have a city attorney out of Sacramento, a totally separate county, who is their city attorney. He has an oath of office on file to work for the city, and he's also a standing active member of the bar, running his own private practice law firm. Anyone affiliated with the bar has accepted a title of nobility or emolument from a foreign power, and they've renounced their U.S. citizenship under the Constitution. So I have dual oaths for this man, and it's going to be interesting to see his excuse in federal court.
So that's what we're working on right now. We got a huge stack of paperwork, and we've been going around, driving around the last 2 days, serving paper PSQs to everybody, gathering up, acquiring oaths of office, and this case it's case closed. I mean, it's business day 2 working on all this, and we've already been to the courthouse, the sheriff, the the police department. We've been all over the place.
Like
County
17
clerk.
oaths.
Collected 17 oaths of office. We've served all the judges. We've served the county, the sheriff. It's over. They're done. And the police report hasn't even been filed into the system yet. I gotta wait 10 days to have access to that report.
We have to wait on them to charge them with crimes.
And we're gonna win this case. I mean, Mike's gonna disqualify the judge and everybody in that courtroom, and basically we're gonna go in as defendants and come out as prosecutors, and the bailiff will be the one overseeing everything. The judge will hopefully be arrested. Hopefully the sheriff he'll comply and do his job, and he'll arrest or be there to enforce and hold accountable everybody in that courtroom. And they can't touch me. I have rights. The Bill of Rights, the only jurisdiction I fall under is the Constitution, and I'm protected by the Bill of Rights. And you can't take that away from somebody.
So all we're doing is asking people to honor the oath they swore for that check that they received as a public servant. And judging from Stefan Kanishi yesterday, the court administrator, they don't feel that they owe us anything, that we were dirtbags. And it was nice seeing his expression change when we came back and he realized that we hold his financial future in our hands via his bond and his oath of office.
So that's an explanation of what's been going on. My court date is October 20th, so I've got more than enough time to get all this stuff put together and have my case ready to go. And so I'll be real busy. Me and Mike will be real busy here in the next few weeks, but we'll be posting videos as we go along, as a documentation, as instruction on how to do what we're doing. So keep your eyes on the Citizens Action Network Victimless Crimes page that Mike just created. All this stuff will be going onto that page, and hopefully we'll be making history with this case.
Hopefully a lot more people will get behind this cause, because we could use a lot more support.
So that's all I got for today, for now. So I'll see you guys later.